What's up, guys? My name is Josh. This is a new segment called Hot Box Thoughts, where we're gonna be getting in-depth thoughts. I'm gonna be high, and Zico's not.
All right, Josh is gonna be in that tent, zipping it up, and that thing is airtight. He's gonna be smoking those blunts in that little tray he got right there, progressively getting higher and higher, while I sit right there and just talk to him completely sober. Let's see how it goes.
420.
Yes, sir, 420. All right, and this is Josh's little weed bar in the corner, and explain what we got for our selection
so
today,
what I
man.
got here? Well, first off, this is my beautiful weed bar. I got all these different little selections here. Pickle Rick, so smooth. So I got these little party packs. It's mixed with passion fruit, sativa, Captain Cake, indica, and it got blueberry cupcake hybrid.
What's up?
Howdy.
everybody? It's another episode. Let me make sure he's zipped up. It's
Oh, yeah.
another episode
No leakage.
of Broken Bear Conversations, Hot Box Edition, aka Hot Box Thoughts. We have Josh in the tent, smoking inside there, hot boxing it, and I'm outside the tent, sober, no weed in my system at all, and we're just talking. That's pretty much it. Before we get started, we're on everything: TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, at Broken Bear Conversations. Check us out, please.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I want to say I'm also mostly doing this because I wanted to smoke because I also have a lot of shit going on. And I know Zico, you're not feeling that great, and I didn't want you to get, anything. And he's also trying to apply for jobs and shit like that. So I was like, I didn't want him to get any of that in the system. But yeah, I definitely was like, I knew I had to smoke, so it was like regardless, I was gonna be in here and chilling. But yeah, so what's going on, man? So how you feeling? How are you feeling?
To give some context, not to get too much into my personal life.
Yeah.
But I'm not feeling good. For the past week, all the food and everything I've ate or drank has just flown through me. You know what I mean? Not to be TMI. So nothing is really retaining in my body. So I've been like losing weight.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's showing up on camera, but
Man, I can fucking see it, and I'm in the haze of smoke. So I'm like,
Josh described me as looking a lot more skinnier, a lot more pale. I just don't look good.
yeah, but you glossy.
I don't feel good either. I don't know what's happening to me. I swear to God, I'm being poisoned by somebody or something. I'll give an update next week. And if there's no update next week, that means I'm dead. So
It's like
that's
he's
the-
dead.
that's the
No,
update.
it's like
Yeah, so this might be the last
no.
evidence of me being on this earth. But yeah, I don't know what's going on. I'm not feeling good, but I'm going to urgent care today at like 5:30. So
Yeah.
we'll see what happens. But hopefully I find out what happens because I don't feel good, and I'm also trying to get a new job. So it's not good for me to start a new job feeling like shit.
Yeah.
That's a bad first impression.
Yeah.
But yeah, how are you? You want to talk about what's happening? I don't know if you want to put that out there.
Yeah, I mean, we talk about it. But yeah, so it's like, I mean, we can still touch on your shit, but I can get my stuff. But it's you do look different. So it's like unfortunate timing, like when shit goes like that. And sometimes like, is the universe like, what the fuck's going on? It's like, it's weird how all these things can like all connect at the same time. Like, why does it all happen at once?
I don't know.
It's a lot of that happen. But yeah, you look, and the fact that you're still doing a podcast while you look like how you look, because you look like you have like the flu, kind of.
Thing about me is that I like to, if I have a routine, I got things to do. I
Yeah.
still want to get them done.
Can't get in the way.
Even if, like-
Be in a hospital bed.
Yeah, even if life gets in the way or like bad things happen in my life, I don't want to be knocked down. Because like in a boxing match, when you're fighting and you get knocked down, you have to get back up. And keep fighting.
Hey, I'll tell you
I
what.
apply that to life too. 'Cause I don't want to stay down. Because if you stay down, you're gonna go into slump.
No, I get that, man.
And you're gonna stay down.
I'll tell you what. If you ain't getting hurt, you have to be at the hospital, and we have to do a podcast, and it's on a Sunday. They can't even be there. I will hurt myself, and I'll be in the hospital bed next to you, and we'll do the podcast.
Why do you have to hurt yourself? Why can't you just bring the setup to my?
No, but they might not let me. You'd be hurt. You'd be in the hospital bed. You can't get out of the bed. They said no visitors. I'm like, oh fuck that. We gotta do a podcast. And then I come back and I have like something wrong with my arm or fucking I'm missing a leg, and I'm like, I'm here. I was like, we got it.
I'm sure
we get 5 views.
I'm sure we can avoid that.
I'm just saying, man. I am committed.
Okay. Yeah, but that's my concept, cause
Bad boys for life.
you know, cause life's gonna happen. You know, you gotta
No,
like,
for real. Yeah.
you know, people might pass away or like might lose a job, get laid off, whatever. But I don't want that to like keep me down. I'm gonna still keep doing what I gotta do. You know, work out, podcasting, all that. Cause that's what happens to people. They're like doing good in life, and I get it. Like some horrible shit happens, and then they like lose all momentum and like go on a downward spiral. I don't ever want to be like that. You know.
Yeah.
Because this is kind of it might be triggering to hear, but a guy that I watch on YouTube. They're part of this channel called Just Kidding News, and they do like I've shown you one of their videos,
Yeah.
the Dalai Lama video. Remember all like those Asian guys and everything. Anyway, one of the people on that cast, something really sad happened. Not to bring the mood down,
Yeah.
but his freaking dad took his own life.
Oh shit.
Right, and that guy still went on there, and he didn't tell nobody.
Oh
And he
shit.
still recorded and acted happy and everything, right? So I
Yeah.
just saw that, and I really respected him as a person. I'm like, oh shit, he's a strong guy to keep doing his job, even regardless of that happening in his
Yeah.
life. So I kind of take that concept and apply it to my own life. I want to, you know, not put people down and let things get in the way, you know? But of course, at the same time, if shit happens, you gotta take time for yourself
Yeah.
and heal, you know? So there's a balance to it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just take that concept and apply it
I
to my life.
think sometimes things can happen where it's like if you need to do something, it's like sometimes I feel like people have a switch. They can like it's off, it's there, you know it, but it's like you can somehow put it in the corner
Yeah.
and do your other shit, and then once you're done, I bet you when he got home, he had a breakdown.
Yeah,
Something like that for sure.
He that guy, his life is pretty sad, but
Oh, shit.
from what he was saying, he said that when he got the news, he just like stared at the wall for like 3 hours because he didn't know how to process it.
Yeah.
But also, going back to me, my goal in life is to be a dad and have a good family. So
Your goal.
I know that you got to be like a strong parent, you know.
Yeah.
And parents, they're going through a lot of shit, but they don't ever put it on their kids, you know. So that I try to keep that up right now, so
Yeah.
I can build that strongness about myself.
Yeah.
So when I do have a kid, and
Become
shit
that
happens,
guider.
I don't put it on the kid. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, for sure. I mean, if more parents had that, my God, we would be different. So,
No.
unfortunately, I don't think many parents think that way and have that thought and concept. They kind of just, I really want a baby. It's gonna happen. I'm like, it's great, but it's also like, what kind of life are you wanting? You know, it's. But no, I really respect that. It's great.
Yeah.
Because that'd be phenomenal, man. You'd be a
Yeah.
great parent because you already have that mindset.
Yeah, I'm trying to build it now. You
Yeah.
know? I don't want to be a parent and have to build it then. 'Cause
No.
then I have to raise this kid and build this mindset. I'm gonna build it now.
You're half in, half out.
Yeah.
That's what's fucked up. So
I
it's
wanna
like,
be prepared for
Yeah.
when opportunity comes. Yeah.
well, that's a good way to be. I mean, I think that's a lesson for a lot of people if people actually pay attention and really think that. So if there's any parents out there that trying to really think, like really think shit out, like plan stuff out. How are you together? How is like y'all as a couple? You know, parents should be one. So it's
Yeah.
shit like that.
And not only
Yeah.
do I look up to that guy on YouTube, but also I have a personal friend that I told you about. I'm not gonna say his name out loud, but he's a strong guy, and
Yeah.
he goes through all types of shit that he probably never tells me. But later on, he'll probably tell me, like he told me like one of his family members passed away or whatever, right? But he was still, and he was a coworker of mine, but he would still go to work every day, and that put that out there. 'Cause he didn't want to make anyone else sad. you
Yeah.
know? And it was also really, I respect him a lot. Because I looked up to him like a father figure, kind of. He kind of like guided me, raised me, taught me a lot of things, you know? And it's crazy that he's going through his own life and he has all these issues and then goes to work. And I'm a stranger. I'm not related to him anyway. I'm just a coworker. And
Yeah.
then he still helps me out at the same time, even though he got this whole list of bullshit, you
Yeah.
know? So I just really respect that a
No,
lot.
it's-
So I
it's-
wanted to become a person like that, too.
No, that's a good way to be. That mindset to have. It's a lot of. I feel like the guy must have had a hard life. He must have been dealing with shit a lot
Yeah,
in
he
his
went to
life.
prison.
Yeah.
He's been through a lot.
So I mean, I feel like he has a good control of who he is. Because he probably didn't have a choice. You know,
Yeah.
I'm sure prison beats a lot of things out of you that could correct a lot of things that you probably need correcting for sure.
Yeah.
So that kind of solitude is important.
Yeah, because we would have a coworker that would like complain about all types of things going in their life, right? But then like my friend, this guy went through way more worse.
No,
He'll
for
never
sure.
say any of that, you know. And we would look at this person like, come on now, why are you being like a Debbie Downer? You don't know what we're going through.
No,
you
and
know?
and I think people forget that everyone's going through probably similar shit or multiple things, and it's a lot. 'Cause I think I struggle with that. Because I'm sure I've been Debbie Downer a few times. I think hanging out with you, but I'm realizing now, understanding why. But I don't know if people will be outside themselves enough. It's like learning how to be outside of yourself to see yourself, which is fucking weird to even think of. It's like you're acting, you're interacting, doing it, but you're also seeing yourself do this shit. So it's like awareness of awareness, if that
Yeah.
makes sense.
For me, I feel like for whatever reason, I've had that since I was a kid. 'Cause
Yeah.
I have this random memory of being like in elementary school and my mom driving me home, and we're passing by like this grocery store called Red Apple in Beacon
Yeah.
Hill, right? And I'm seeing all these people on the street waiting for the bus, going to the grocery store, right? And I'm just a little kid looking out the window, and I'm like, damn, every single person here has their own life, has their own problems, just like me.
Yeah.
And I've always kept that mindset till this day, you know? And there's even like a Japanese philosophy or saying that says that, yeah, every person on this earth has the same thing as you: dreams, problems, relationships, aspirations. We all have the same thing. And it's like kind of like mind blowing that there's so many different complicated webs and storylines going on
it's-
all at the same time,
It's
you know?
if you look at people that way, it's that we're all are in our own movie, you
Yeah,
know.
that's what I think about.
And I think about that too, but then I also sometimes will just something else takes over me, and I'm like, everybody's just a fucking NPC because I don't give a shit, you know.
Yeah.
Which is not a healthy way either, but it's like things will take over, and I feel like especially because I've been in a couple of low spins in my life. Obviously, people go through their own low spins, but learning how to control yourself, which is I think why meditation is important. Learning how to do all that stuff. I think being awareness of awareness, like what you're talking about, and that you may have been born like that because I like just how some people are born with
Yeah.
this great voice. That's why I get it with if you're like how Avatar, like the last Airbender and shit like that. How people have like like your Airbender, your Firebender, whatever, sort of like that. Like some people are fucking they're born, they have a fucking talent. Like Mozart, how he was born, he could just play shit. He just could do it. Some people just have that in them. I don't know what the fuck that is. I don't understand it, but it's there. It exists. It's like a superpower. But I feel like, yeah, you probably have something you're born with. You honed it.
I think was born very empathetic. I
Yeah.
think that's the word, you know, because maybe that's why I'm so chill. Because I always I take things personal. Even people do me dirty. I'm like, everybody got their own problems.
Yeah.
You know? It's probably nothing to do with me. They're just lashing out. You know.
No, I
Just
think
trying to be
that's.
understanding.
I think it's attainable for everybody's. I feel like I've been there in my life a few times, off and on. Like it's a switch. I'm there, but then I choose to be also other versions of myself in different moments, which is fucking weird. I experimented with that, trying to control it. I feel like I had different personalities, but it weren't. It's still all me. It's just more like when you're super aware of yourself, you're like, it's how you're interacting. It's odd. Like you have this subconscious that just naturally kicks in. I don't know what the fuck it is. It's
Well, you
weird.
think you got multiple personalities.
No, it's not multiple person. No. It's just more like when you're really start trying to be aware of yourself, like certain interactions, like because of maybe how you observe people, you may interact certain ways. Like you might be more quiet initially, but they're also you could be interactive and start talking to people if you wanted. Like that's a
Yeah.
version of you.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. It's like a switch. If you learn how to control that,
I
don't know. Yeah.
I definitely have that.
That's what I mean. Like I've been like that where I can control it like a switch. I'm like, what the fuck is that? Because obviously it's like I don't know what that means, but it's like I've been like, well, I'll be quiet. I don't want to talk to people. I'm shy and weird. I also been I'm talking, having fun, doing like
I'm
that.
exactly the same way.
Yeah, and I've
That's
seen
crazy.
that version of you.
Yeah.
But it's like a switch. You're not like that all the time, but you could be if
I
you
can't
wanted.
control it.
Yeah, no, so I
It's
mean.
weird.
But I've seen it. Like I've turned it on and off, and I'm like, what the fuck is this? It don't make sense.
That's what I've been trying to figure out too, because you're not the first person to say that. I had a friend that said that, yeah, it's weird, because sometimes I'll be very passive and quiet, but sometimes I'm like hella outgoing and very assertive.
Yeah.
You know? And then it made me think about this, because I'm getting into boxing.
Yeah.
And I'm watching a lot of Mike Tyson stuff, right? And Mike Tyson talked about how you have to have this like animal inside you when you get into the boxing ring, you know? Because he said that when he's walking towards the boxing ring, he's scared as fuck. He's afraid. Each step closer he gets, he's so terrified of getting into that ring until he jumps through the ropes and actually lands into the ring. Then something just switches.
Yeah.
And he's like, thinks he's the best boxer in the world, you know? That could also be part due to, I think he got hypnotized by his coach, Cus D'Amato.
Yeah.
I think he placed a hypnosis on him. But anyway, that led me to this rabbit hole of like looking at different boxing videos. And they talked about how everyone has like a dark side to them. And you have to let that side out when you get into boxing. Because you have to want to hurt the other person, you know? And the thing with Mike Tyson is he's so fascinating because I just said he's afraid to get in there. Then once he actually enters, he's this monster, right? And then once he's a monster and he's in that ring and he destroys his opponent, he said after he's done and the fight's over, he doesn't want to fight anymore. He said he doesn't want to hurt the guy.
Yeah.
And he said that sometimes after the fight, they want to still fight. He said, I don't want to fight. You know? So it's like weird how there's that switch. But for him, he was able to control it, not on purpose, but just by getting into the ring. That was the trigger, right? So I'm wondering, I think we all have this. You know?
No, I think we do. And I don't know how to control the switch either. But now that I'm working out, I might try to see if I can channel that. I don't know. You felt me once, like, that sounded weird. When I was playing music, unintentionally, you felt a thing come from me. Like I wasn't even trying to do something. I had a tune in my head. I was trying to figure out, and obviously something may have I tapped into something and it felt.
Yeah, what Josh is talking about is that I remember one day we were like at his apartment and I could tell that in general he wasn't feeling the best, like, you know, in his life and everything. A lot was going on and it felt like the vibe was a little off, right? Like he wasn't in the right headspace. But then he went to his piano and started playing, and I felt the vibe immediately changed to like him pouring everything he had in him into this like beautiful melody that was playing.
Yeah.
And I was like, that was interesting. How I could just feel it. It's like something you can't explain.
Yeah.
You just feel it.
So I mean,
know?
and I can sometimes pick on that. I don't understand it sometimes, but I've picked up on that. I don't really know what that means. I don't know. I'm not educated. I don't know who to talk to. I don't know where you learn this. I don't know how you Google this, but I don't know what that means, and I don't know how to control that switch all the time. I've controlled it a few times, and it confused me. I'm like, am I crazy? Like, what the fuck is this?
No.
Because it's me. It's not it's not someone else. It's still me. But
Is that zipped up?
am I?
Okay, because like I smell something. I think that was just the residue from earlier. Yeah,
It has to be. Yeah, we unzipped it. He was adjusting. He's like, oh yeah, I forgot. He's just like,
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, I don't think you and me are unique. I think everyone goes through that.
No, I feel like that.
Because, like, for example, when you go to work, everyone has to put on their work face, you know, and remain professional. And then once you get off of work, you know, you go hang out with your buddies, go get drinks and act crazy.
Yeah.
You know, you go home with your girl, and then you like, you know, show your true self with your partner, you know. So everyone has that. I think what separates people from other people is that maybe, like, successful people are able to compartmentalize and know when to put that switch on. There are certain times, and for people like us, we're still trying to figure that out.
So I can speak on that. You caught me at a time where I gave up on trying to fucking mask anything anymore. I used to mask when I was at one of my other jobs where I was pretty much quiet the whole time, which is odd for me, but I was always quiet. And another job, I was this version of me all the time. I'm present like this, and I was like those people you talk about where I didn't talk. No one knew what the fuck's going on. And they're like, I would be homeless and working a job, but no one fucking know that about me. And I'd be working a full-time job doing that shit for a long time. But I stopped doing that. So you're catching a version of me where I just give on I don't give a shit to mask anymore. Like, fuck it, I don't care. So I'm like, if I'm angry and pissed off, I'm at a point where it's boom. That's how I was kind of being. And see, I just felt my energy rise up. I'm trying to control that now. But I would so you caught me at that time where I was just, I don't know. That's me, like, just being open in general on everything. Even though I know what to do in those times, I just don't, it's like, I don't know. Something happened to me where I just unlocked. But I'm trying to hone that now. Instead of me just being, even in like certain moments, I could still have a switch, but it's like I'm more aware of the switch now versus me just being subconsciously doing it. You know, it's like, so that way it's like I'm going to be more mindful. It's like I'm trying to learn how to be the most mindful I can possibly be as I'm meditating and shit like that. Because like, and this is also, you should help me learn this shit already just from me just sitting out there being still. with you. We're at from work. We're trying to practice that.
Meditate.
Yeah, and then once I started doing that, I'm like, you know what? I know that's gonna help me, and I'm already trying to learn how to breathe differently, and just so I can just take a breath and control myself more. And I feel like that mindfulness, which that might help with any general for anybody controlling that switch that we're talking about. I don't know, but it has
I'm trying
to.
to figure out what that is.
I don't know.
Eventually, I'm gonna get into therapy, and I want to figure out what the fuck this is, because I've had the same thing you have too, where like there's like different version of myself every time I wake up.
Yeah.
It's really weird, you know, because I wish I was always the assertive version of myself, because I like that version.
I do. I've been that version a lot. I like it. I'm aware of too much, but then I also not living life, and that's where I started being more present and live life. I mean, like, I don't think people always be present just in the moments and just not being there. But that's also not good either, being like that all the time, because I'm too vulnerable, because I'm just out there and open and just being.
Yeah.
But that's also not good either. It's a switch. You got to learn a place for it. It's just got to be turned on. I don't know what the fuck. It's where it's like it feels weird. How do we have access to something like that?
I don't know. 'Cause I really want to figure it out, because the thing about me is that I want to learn how to box, right?
Yeah.
But if I'm boxing and I'm sparring with somebody, I gotta want to hurt them.
Yeah,
But
that's
I'll
why.
be honest, deep inside, I don't want to hurt people.
Yeah.
You know? But I know that there is a part of me that can turn on to want to hurt somebody, but I don't know how to do that.
Yeah.
You know? So that's the thing that's preventing me. So I really want to learn how to manage that switch.
Yeah.
Learn what that is. You know.
Well, I that's also why we were trying to figure out how to, like, we were just messing around, like, to hit each other just so we can learn how to dodge. But like, but we don't want to hit each other. We're also scared.
I
Like,
don't have this.
yeah, because like I generally, it's like, how could you do it to a friend? Like, to a
Yeah.
person, I can easily probably turn that switch off. And
Yeah.
if, especially if they're being somebody that like being racist or what like that, it's like that's easy for me to, like, I need to stop that,
Yeah.
But just a person that's just doing something, like, you gotta really have that. You gotta hypnotize yourself, I guess is what it is. Like
I
you
know.
said, as soon as you went over that, maybe as soon as you put your gloves on,
Yeah.
that's you switching. You gotta
Yeah.
there's got to be a trigger. You gotta figure out what your trigger is.
Yeah, I think when it comes to hypnosis,
Damn, I gotta sit for a
there's
bit.
a trigger that
Yeah.
like, for example, like, this is, I don't know if this is a real thing, but I've seen this in like media, but like in movies and shit where there's like a Russian spy, there's always like a trigger for that Russian spy to become, like, the Russian spy will be in America and become American citizen, right, and be normal and everything, but then like in the movie, someone will say a code word, tomatoes, and then it'll trigger that Russian spy to go back to their Russianness, and all of a sudden they're speaking perfect Russian,
Yeah.
and they're doing these crazy moves, right? So that's the same thing with hypnosis. Like, if you're being hypnotized to become a certain something, there's always like a trigger word or action that.
But I
has to
feel like
happen.
that's someone else controlling you though.
I know,
But how can you do
but
it? Yeah.
I'm saying maybe we can apply that to ourselves, like how you just said
Yeah.
the boxing glove. Maybe you can convince yourself that once this is lace,
Yeah.
activate that switch.
Have that mindset. I don't know. It's like something I'm learning, that mindfulness. I feel like just like anything, a habit, to start a habit, you have to keep putting something in practice. But I also want to make sure I'm learning the right practice, because I always
Yeah.
say perfect practice, because you could be doing something wrong, but perfect practice makes perfect. So I feel like you might be onto something. I'm gonna be Googling shit and meditating, I'm sure, after this podcast on this. But yeah, no, that you might be right. There's got to be something you got to trigger, because you got to have that thing where you don't give a shit. You're just there.
Because I'm gonna be honest, now I think about it, I have that for myself.
Yeah.
Sometimes I've been in moments where I've gone to arguments with people, right? And it's 0 to 100. Because for me, I'm usually hella chill
Yeah.
up until someone crosses a line that I have these rules I put on myself. Like, if you cross this line, that's when I activate this shit, because most of the time I'm chill, right? But like, for example, let's just throw out a rule, right? Let's say I'm talking to somebody and they could be very mean and disrespectful for me. And this is hypothetical, right? And I'm chill or whatever, right? But let's say if I had this rule that if you say anything about my mom, then I'm gonna start fighting you,
I think
And
people
I've
have
had
that.
in the past before, where usually I'm hella chill up until a point where someone crosses the line with
Like,
me.
my mom! Yeah.
Then I change.
Yeah.
And that really has happened to me. So now I just realized right now about myself, I already kind of hypnotized myself in a way like that, where my trigger is that if people cross the line, that's when I stop doing whatever. Well, I would say I had that recently. I'm not going to say who, but I told you about, I had a family member that recently did something to me, and that's what triggered me to be aggressive towards them. Remember? So I do have that. When people Cause that family member usually is weird already, but I just let things slide.
Whoa.
But then once they locked me in my garage, I got locked in the garage recently. That's when that triggered, and I took off my shirt and I acted aggressive.
Yeah. So, I'm assuming this is how it's gonna have to work. You have to feel that energy you're feeling, and that memory that you're holding on to, and the energy you're feeling when you're thinking of that, and then while you're putting your fucking gloves on, thinking of that, putting that on. I think that might help you trigger it, and then as soon as you start, it'd be like a muscle memory. You start building that because I feel like you have to have the energy. Because I know that's what's different. Once I start playing piano and I'm thinking of a certain thing, an energy will come over. Sometimes I'm not even thinking of shit, but it'll happen. I might just change my mood. But if I'm really concentrated, I can feel a pull from myself into what I'm playing. I felt it. It freaked me out for a little bit. But if you start doing it, and when you're putting the gloves on, it's like the energy's inside the gloves, but it's like it's all mental. But
Yeah.
I think eventually, I made that's mindfulness, but I felt pulls from my energy before, like it feels tingly and weird, and it felt like it was going in through my body, I don't know what the fuck that means. It's before I even smoked, so that's what's different. But I feel like there might be a way to do that if you feel that energy, because you've seen mine at work a few times. My dark energy kind of comes over me. I don't really have that much control over it. It's hard for me to have control over it. But I might have to try to figure out how to do this.
Maybe you just have to like think to yourself and be like, set rules. Okay.
Yeah.
Usually I'm chill, but if this thing happens, then this will trigger this. You know, like usually I'm chill, but if I get into an argument with somebody and they touch me, that's when I have a right to hit them. You know what I mean? Maybe you have to like put that rule into yourself.
Well, I was thinking maybe the same thing for you being happy and extroverted. Maybe there's something you can use to trigger when I put these shoes on, like a certain shoes. Mm-hmm. These are my extroverted shoes.
I do have something like that. For me, I feel more confident and like more willing to be outgoing if I dress nice. You know what I mean? And usually at work I dress like in Goodwill clothes, so I don't really feel like myself. But then like sometimes I wear like I have like this red long sleeve polo shirt that I like, and I feel better when I wear it. You know? So
that makes sense.
That could be a thing.
Well, that's also why if I ever dress kind of nice and somewhat even done like jobs and shit like that, something happened and I was like depressed all the time, and that helped me get out of my depression. Yeah. Just like fuck it, if at least I'm look good on my last day, whatever day that might be, you know, I had that mindset, but it made me feel better because I could not expect where my shit was gonna be at. Sometimes the day I would be wearing kind of shit clothes. That's when things happen. I'll be off having an adventure with family or friends, looking like crap. But this is what I had going on. But doing that, it helped me just learn, like, you know, helped me just to, I don't know, embrace different things. Yeah. No, I think there is something with that. I don't know. It's a different thing to explore, but that's fucking crazy.
Yeah, the mind is just so fascinating. I was like learning about psychology and learning about psychedelics and stuff that affects the mind, you know. I just think the mind is so interesting, and we know there's so much we don't know about. You know?
Fuck, it's so much. It honestly feels like an ocean, like hardly even touched. We just seen it surface. Like, wow, this shit's big.
And to me, sometimes it feels like a computer in a way, because like going back to the
for
trigger,
sure.
It's like when you write a piece of code, right?
Yeah.
When you write code, this is usually how they put it. For example, if you're writing a code on, let's say if you were to sell a house, right? You would type this in. When person A transfers $500,000 to person B, then house A will be sent to person B, right? And in that piece of code, the trigger for the house to be sent to the next person is when the $500,000 is received by the next person, and that triggers it. And the brain, I feel like, is kind of similar, where you could be like, okay, if I'm in an argument with somebody, I'm gonna stay chill. But if the person B who I'm arguing with touches me, then me, person A, will swing back. You know what I mean? So I don't know if that made sense.
It does a little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
But are you talking about you go from 1 to 10 swing back, or you like going 1 to like 5 aggressive?
Well, I'm not trying to gauge how intense it is. I'm just getting the concept of that.
All right.
We have these triggers. Everyone has these triggers.
They do. I feel like it's
you know, I feel like when people want to get into a fight, they'll yell and get into each other's face, right? But the trigger for them to actually start swinging is when the other person touches them.
I might be like, my trigger, if he starts swinging, it'd be like he has to touch my nose with his nose.
Yeah.
whatever it might be, you know.
I'm
But
just
something
saying,
so crazy.
It's interesting how our brain are like that
Yeah.
sometimes, where we'll deal with a lot of shit up until something reaches a point where we set on ourselves.
But I think if you can train yourself like you're saying, where it has to be a certain thing to really make you fucking lose yourself, because I don't think should always be goaded
Yeah.
and lose yourself, because for sure people just want that rise. By you not rising to their level, that's gonna piss them off more, which is great.
Yeah.
But obviously you need to have a certain thing where like someone has to gonna cross. There's gotta be a cross the line for sure.
Yeah.
But learn what that is important, and that again, that I'm not looking at shit like that. I'm gonna meditate, and I think that might be right, man. Learn how to control those triggers.
Yeah, because
Those-
you can look at it at,
Mm.
for example, in the workplace, right? Sometimes you look at people that are like, they're tough, but they never get into anything at work.
Yeah.
Because maybe in their head, they already had that mindset where they're like, okay, at work, people are going to be weird. They might try to start some shit, but I'm going to stay chill, right? Up until they cross the line by touching me. Then that's when I'm going to start swinging, Because
Yeah.
I've seen that happen where, like, at work, you see, like, a tough dude deal with a lot of shit up until someone crosses the line, and that gives them that trigger to do some shit, So I feel like you kind of have to set rules on yourself, and when that line gets crossed, that's when you activate this part of yourself.
Yeah. No, you're right. And I was like, I just think of just my recently past, how I've been acting. I was like, God damn. Like, every line was easy to cross because I was just at where the level I was at was not healthy.
And maybe your threshold is too low, and you have to raise it.
Yeah, no, I was where I was at. Shit, I don't know. I think my DMT experience like reconnected to myself that's probably been dormant for a long time. So I'm now have access, but a better managed access. Like it's no longer just like closed off. I don't know. Something definitely happened. I don't know what the hell that means. But there's probably there's just too much information out there. I don't think I absorbed enough. But yeah.
Are we even sure we actually took DMT? What if we took some synthetic shit and that fucked us up, man?
No, I don't know, man.
That's what I've been thinking sometimes. I'm like, did we get the correct stuff?
I feel like the stuff I experienced, man, because I experienced like definitely some crazy awakening moments. The only things I have that could equate were like Christian shit that happened to me when I went through Christianity. That was maybe as close that I could not explain. That I don't know, because what I experienced was very similar, and what Ashley claims she saw was the same stuff.
That is still mind blowing to me.
Yeah.
What will happen between you two?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. But yeah. No,
Okay,
it's
are you high?
what?
Are you high? Like really high?
I'm a little high, yeah.
You seem like everything I'm saying, you're really like pondering.
No, yeah, no. I need to learn how to channel this calm so I can actually listen to people. Like eventually I'll get a calm and it comes over me and I'm just chill as fuck.
Yeah.
I've learned how to control it sometimes, and like even my anxiety, I had a switch where it's like I felt like I was freaking out, and all of a sudden I was like, what the fuck? And I was chill as fuck. I'm like, why was I acting like that?
I can't wait for you to finish this manga series called Fire Punch,
I fucking can't wait either.
because there's a concept that happens in here that relates to our trigger.
Beautiful.
The main character goes through a really crazy journey, and he figures out he has to have this trigger, and you'll see what I mean when you
Yeah.
read it, for real.
I'm
You'll
excited.
see what I mean.
Already, I highly recommend Fire Punch. This shit's amazing.
I semi-recommend it because it's very disturbing, and I don't think a lot of people can handle the stuff that's in there.
Hey, fuck it. The world's disturbing.
It is.
Open
but
your eyes,
some
man.
people want to remain ignorant.
Yeah.
I don't blame them. Yeah.
I get it, but man, I think everyone's eyes need to be open.
Yeah. But anyway,
But yeah,
that's the end of this episode. Broken Bread Conversations, Hot Box Thoughts. We're gonna let Josh out of there. He's been in there for over an hour now.
Over an hour.
Hour and 5 minutes, basically. So we're gonna
Beautiful.
cut to that. Thanks for watching. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is the result of 1 hour being in a podcast. You drop your light. That's what happens. Look at this. How do you feel, man?
I feel good.
That's good. You seem really chill.
No, I feel very finally calm and relaxed, which is great.
All the smoke is contained in there.
This smoke is literally contained, man. This shit's great. I highly recommend these hot box, and it's phenomenal. These fit in closets, FYI, so people can lock themselves and chill over there for a bit.
Yes, sir. It's been a while since I've seen Josh this calm, actually. So, whatever he smoked, definitely worked. But anyway, thanks for watching.
Enjoy.